we're back at the Blue Note. Not too sure who's going to be here tonight that's hosting it, but it should be pretty good like it always is. So, as our usual, we are here just taping the board, getting stuff ready. It is nice to have the luxury of the time to spend getting stuff prepped without being rushed. Let's see here. Looks like they're doing a good job zeroing out the board, so we got a good place to start. Okay, we're using our gate again. It just helps out control some of the low end on the drum kit. And like before, we're going to be gating just the kick drum and the floor tom. Those seem to be the most problematic for ringing and for feedback issues. Okay, we're going to assign these channels into subgroups, but first what we need to do is take the channels out of stereo. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, and then the drums we usually have in here. We can pan over here a little bit. See this again. Didn't come in too well, but right here, that's where all the drums are going to be. Call it cans. So let's assign those to subgroup number 2. Alright, pan that over and over. Okay, bass. Actually, bass we're going to leave. Bass we're going to leave alone. We'll leave that into the stereo. So guitars, lead instruments. We're going to pan those over to the instrument bus, which is number 3. Of course, it can be whatever you want it to be. Let's see here, vocals. Vocals in subgroup number 1. We'll pan those to 1. Okay. Then we come over here. Here's the subgroups. There we go. We're going to assign those to the stereo bus. Just these 3 vocals. We've got drums and instruments over here. Okay. And that's basically about it for assigning channels into different subgroups. Now we haven't talked about it too much, but on the monitor EQs, we want to make sure we get the low end rolled off fairly high, because we don't want a lot of that low frequency coming through, but we don't want it too high because it can sound almost sort of thin. And then on the high end, we want to roll off some of the high end. It helps keep the high frequency feedback from occurring. So it probably doesn't matter what kind of either EQ you're using or the board. Even some amplifiers can roll off low and high frequency on it, just as long as the frequencies are controlled either from an EQ or from the amplifier, like on the DSP on an amplifier.
Mike, what's up?
Hey man, it's good to see you, man. Hey, James is bringing his own drums in.
I already told him we had the kit set up.
I'm not the stage manager and I'm not doing sound.
That's right. It's almost like a night off for you, right?
That's right, I'm excited.
You're just having
all I gotta do is play.
Fun time out.
Is that okay?
Yeah, we're sort of limited here on chord length. Let's see what we got here. Probably gonna be, yeah, you should be okay. How far more?
I don't need to be there.
Okay, you're perfect. You're there. Okay.
See, what we're doing here is towards the FSC guitar players, electric manual player, drummer, and we switch them.
Oh, okay.
That's why there's extra amps.
Okay. That makes sense.
It's not a record.
Yeah, one bass.
Yeah, one bass
Yeah.
and 2 guitars.
The usual. Okay, so for tonight we've got a little bit of a difference here. The host band has decided to bring in their own backline. So the stuff that we have set up has been removed and they are using their own gear. And they are open to having the other bands play on it. So, we're going to change how we're going to run the board. The EQ settings and gain settings as well as the gates on the drums have all been pretty much set. So we're going to have to make some adjustments for the new gear. Okay, so while the band's getting their other gear set up, we can take a look at a few things here. So ahead of time, we can set the high pass on the high pass here on the vocal mics. It's 100 hertz. We're not going to touch anything with the gain yet. Then over here on the harp, we'll do a high pass on the harp. I think that's going to be a mandolin here. We'll do a high pass on the guitars as well. Everything's at 100 hertz. And then I'm not too sure what's going to happen here with the drums. Anyway, I guess we're going to wait and see what's going to happen. We have to redo the drum section, but anyway, so that's about all we're going to do right now. I usually set the compressors later on when things get started, and then depending on what mic's being used and who's singing, then we'll set the EQ on it. Okay, so it looks like the drum kit is looks like it's probably going to be a pretty loud drum kit that they brought in. So I think for tonight we're only going to use 2 mics on it. One for the kick, and we got one overhead. And the guitar amplifiers and everything are probably going to be ambient because they're all pointing out to the audience area. In other words, we're not going to be micing them. So we're hoping that they're going to be able to sort of maybe keep themselves level on stage with the volume as well as their own mix. So that is going to change some of what we do here at the board.
Just tall, that's just about all.
Yeah, because normally we have everything going to the board, but tonight everything is off the stage. I can't control the recording.
Electric mandolin right now, little Fender, and James Sessoms. James from this family.
Some people say
All right, guys. The band did actually all the bands did real good. The not having the guitar cabinets mic'd was definitely challenging. The bands tried to balance themselves on the stage with it, but a lot of times it got pretty loud. And with the way the beaming of the audio that comes out of a guitar amplifier, one side of the audience area could hear the guitar real well, whereas the other side could not. So that's one of the many reasons why we try to mic the guitars, even if they're loud. We try to mic them just to ensure that everybody can hear them. But anyway, it actually turned out pretty good. The drum kit was, stage manager Dennis is giving us the okay. The drum kit was rather large for the environment, but actually did pretty good. Anyway, all in all, it went real well, and I guess we'll see how it goes next time. So thanks for watching.